Hello and welcome to the Dark Magician deck profile by your boy, LOZA. Here we are. This is the list I settled on. It's changed a lot, so in some of the replays you're going to see some different stuff. And if you just want to see the deck, head on over to the end. I'm going to give an in-depth explanation of my card by card over there. But for now, here's me versing some Phantom Knights. They have the Called by the Grave, so our effect failure is worthless, but that's okay. So, you know, we're kind of just praying here that he can't really make a board. Looking at the red eyes in our hand and crying. Now, luckily we have Rod, and Rod's a great card, obviously, but we kind of need Souls or something else to get it going, and we're really dependent on that draw here. Judgment's nice, but we're playing second, so it's a bit of a keck W. We do draw the Skill Drain, which is very nice, once again, if we were playing first, but we do know that we can link Rod into Artemis, and on the next turn, obviously, we can tribute the Artemis and grab the Rod back. For those of you who play Dark Magician and wonder why Artemis is in all of our lists, this is why. It's just good for when you have to make the bare minimum play, which is summoning Rod, searching, normally Soul Servant, and then just linking it away and passing turn with set back row. It's not the best play, but like you're not going to open up the nuts every game, and this is just what you have to do to kind of get by. You can see there I stacked Magician Souls with Soul Servant in the end phase. That means my Soul Servant is always going to have a DM or DMG in the grave to draw when it is my turn. You'll see that I use Magician Souls here to send the Skill Drain, so I no longer have to play under my own Skill Drain now. Another reason why everyone should be playing Skill Drain in Dark Magician, we play around it really well with Circle and Eternal Soul. We don't need monster effects, but if we do, we just have Souls that can send it away to draw, and that's crazy, because Souls actually sends the cards for cost. So then its effect resolves and you draw, and here it triggered him to use his Fog Blade, which was fine because I made the Blackluster Blackluster Link monster, and it's just kind of clapping his cheeks here, and I can see he's trying to make some plays with his rank 4, so I'm going to, you know, summon Dark Magician, circle it away, and then get Rod back to hand on a new chain by tributing DM. And then, of course, I had the Judgment set, because I knew he was going to have an extender and do it again, because he had Fogblade engraved, and we've just cancelled that. And now we're pretty much just in a very, very strong winning position. We've established Circle, Eternal Soul, and a freaking massive Link monster. So you can see from there, we're just in control of the game. He went on to win game 2. I didn't save it for some reason. I can't remember. I think I just bricked really hard. But here's game 3 anyway. We play the prep looking for the Ash. Oh, I just realized he has Ash. Why did he not Ash Ref? This replay is meaningless. I'm going to skip off this replay because he shouldn't. Oh, we had Called by anyway. I won't skip off it. But he must be spewing that he didn't Ash Ref. But, like, it didn't matter. We had the Called by, and then Ash would have been dead on his turn and whatnot. But anyway. It's fun. It's fun. We're still going to see where this goes. Oh, he just surrendered. Yeah, that's right. I negated his Rusty Vaudish, and he had no extenders. He was donezo, and we had a whole hand to play with next turn. That's why I play 3 ref. 3 ref is honestly the way, I'm telling you. When we're playing all these powerful traps and whatnot, and I'm main decking Nibiru now, it's very safe to just play 3 ref. And if you think you can play it for free, you play it for free and you pop off. And playing second, ref's really good at baiting negates if they don't have the Ash. You can bait their Borreload Savage negate or their Judgment, and then you can just play your hand out from there, or you can play your second ref, honestly. Alright, here I go for the Dragon Knight because I feel pretty safe. I'm versing a guy playing Frogs in like a water deck. Unfortunately, you can see the Gamma Seal in his hand. So that's pretty grim. I'm pretty sure he misplays here, though. Yeah, he doesn't Gammy instantly, which is really weird. So I go to negate something in Grave, which you normally don't want to do with Dragoons because then you don't get the 1000 boost, but I kind of thought I had to. Or he's going to establish Toad. So, I went for the negate and then he just flopped Gammy. I actually asked him in the chat, like, what? And he's like, oh, I didn't see your Dragoon. And I was like, oh, look, it's like the one thing we do, but alright. Fair enough. So he makes a bunch of water links here, but nothing that oppressive, right? I was like, oh, this isn't really anything. So I just kind of add Rod back to hand in end phase and move on with my life. Normal summon Rod, and I think I'll just make Anaconda with these two. Then I realize he's going to pop Eternal Soul with this, but he actually targets the guns. I was like, that was weird. So anyway, I go for Anaconda, and he tags out his Hulk here to get a draw. And I'm like, well, you messed up the timing. He should have done that on an open board to get the draw, because it's a Renaissance draw, so he missed the draw. Anyway, we've established Dragoon, and now we've also established Village, so I'm feeling pretty confident here. We've even got Eternal Soul to grab Rod back in the end phase by summoning DM and tributing him. So I'm feeling pretty good. But I'm pretty sure this guy destroys us, or maybe I'm wrong. So for some reason he targets Village here and not Eternal Soul, which made me think, oh no, yeah, he did need to play this spell. Did he? Wait, doesn't this just negate another spell? Yeah, I don't know. He, instead of popping Eternal, he went for this. I mean, not that either does anything, really. And then he just kind of scooped. Fair enough. I thought he came back from there, but hey, maybe that was another game with him that I forgot to record, LeMayo. Anyway, here's Zoo, because this is a more meta-ish deck. Zeus Turbo versus Dragoon Turbo. Whomstuff will win? Obviously us. We're Epica. This hand is kind of cracked. We've got the combo to make Anaconda. We get Effect Veiled here. That sucks. But now we know the Anaconda's resolving. I probably should have used my, I don't know how to say this. Savvirus? I don't know how to say it. I'm just going to call it the Ritual Dragon. I probably should have used it on the Rod, but I just thought maybe he would have another Effect Veiler or Imperm for the Anaconda, and he was trying to, like, maybe bait me into thinking he didn't, so I just didn't bother. Here he's going to attack directly to make Zeus, so I just flip Skill Drain and say, hey, no attacking directly. Once again, just another monkey flip Skill Drain, and this deck is poggers. Like, yeah, we don't have a Dragoon negate, but how does this man make Zeus if he can't attack and survive? So he does attack and survive, but it's not an Xyz. Why did he not Xyz? Oh yeah, they don't have effects, so they don't have any attack. So Skill Drain just automatically cancels this deck, which is just crazy. It'll cancel a lot of decks though. But here's my Skill Drain getting sent by Magician Souls once again. And here I'm just going to overextend because I just felt really cocky with Dragoon up as a negate. So I just went all the way out, and I'm going to make an access code here. And we are under Village as well, so he can't play 3 cards in his hand, which is unfortunate. But hey, we beat Zoo, top kick. Let's look at Zoo in game 2. Alright, this hand has Skill Drain, so that's kind of cracked. We're playing first. This must be game 3. I think I just forgot to save game 2 once again. I forget all the ones that I lose, lol. But you know, you don't want to see me losing anyway. You know this deck can lose. I want to show you what this deck can do to win. Sometimes it's just Judgment. Sometimes it's just Artemis getting tributed for Rod after you activate Judgment and Soul Servant stacking Soul. Look, now we got the combo. Sometimes we have to delay the opponent's turn because we couldn't play turn 1. And now we get to play on our turn 3 or turn 2 technically. But turn 3 of the game. And look, here we are. Popping off. Anaconda. Oh, he's got the droplet. Sorry, the chalice. Never mind. He's got Nibiru too, but hey, we're going to draw a card. We're probably going to set this Called by the Grave, and we're going to pass. Now, luckily, we do have Eternal Soul. Wait, do we even have DM? We do. We sent DM off Souls. We were smart. We could have sent DMG and been greedy and tried to get extra draws, but I think we went, oh, he might have the hand trap. We'll just send Dark Magician off Souls, just in case. And that's going to work out to our advantage here, because now we get to add Rod back to hand. We're on the Skill Drain once again, so it's not the biggest deal. I'm going to normal summon Rod, and it's a little bit silly, but we can just go into this. It doesn't really matter. No Rod effect is fine. The fact that we were able to get Magician's Rod out is more important, because that meant we could make a Link 3. I believe I only have 1 Dark Magician in the grave. If I had 2, then I didn't need to do that. No, I only had 1. Wait, yes? 1? There's only 1. So, yeah, there was a need to actually add that Rod back. I'm sure there was a reason. Circle Whiffed, can you believe? This card sucks. I'm going to make a video on this card later. All my homies who play multiple Circle, I feel ya, but this card is bad. I'm playing it at 1 for this reason. It's just so bad. It never pluses. It's not even a plus. It never goes even. It's a terrible card. They need to revamp it, or give us a card like Salvation, but it grabs Circle, like a Link 1. That'd be great. Anyway. Enough about me ranting, and let's look at Adamanticators, which you could probably say is not really a meta deck, but this is a very good example of a strong combo deck that knows how to overextend. And here I thought I had him. And you'll see that I really don't be. So we're just going to make Artemis pass, because reasons. I think we opened like 3 of the Ritual. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Sometimes that's how it be. I still say you play 3 Prep and you play 3 Illusion, and you can just play Allure of Darkness, honestly. I'm not playing it currently, but I definitely experimented with this build, and Allure is in there at some points. I ashed the Doki Doki here, hoping that like that's all he has, but of course he's got freaking Monster Reborn. And this is just going to send him spiraling into a victory here. Like, there's nothing we can do about this, which is why I've decided to main deck the Nibiru. It was kind of after this game that I went, you know what, Ash Blossom's nice, but this deck's already got control aspects in like Judgment, the Circle, Banish, Dragoon. Why don't I just get a card that like says no to the opponent, like a big no, kind of like Judgment, but for a whole board. So I thought Nibiru and Phantasme. Phantasme can get you into Nibiru, plus it can unbrick your hand. But Phantasme also doubles up as a fusion material for Tamias to help fuse into Dragoons or Dragon Knights, or anything extra you want to make. Phantasme is a really good card in this deck. You could overlay with it too. I'm not the biggest fan of like rank 7s at the moment, but you could definitely play some. So here you can see he's just making the most obnoxious board, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like, this is the thing with Dark Magician. We really don't have a way to come back from something like this. And you can see me trying, but I just kind of bait things the wrong way. It just didn't really work out. I was trying, but there wasn't a lot going on. But that is okay. I'm pretty sure this is just a scoop game, but I'm just gonna watch it out for you guys' sake. This card's actually really good, and I'm surprised they didn't really play it back when this deck was more popular. It's a free bounce, basically, and it's a negate of a spell trap on the off turn. Quick effect, negate of a spell trap while there's a water monster in the grave, which is Hulk, or just like any of these. So it's kind of nuts. And yeah, I don't know. Like, my hand is 5 cards, and I'm pretty sure I can't play. Or do I play? No, I'm pretty sure everything's just going to get negated. I'm sure I've messed up some sequencing here. Oh yeah, he has the Ash. You know, I love to see it. I don't have enough life points to make Anaconda. So I remember him saying in the chat, he's like, oh no, you can make Anaconda. Like, I fucked up. And I was like, bro, I have 500 life points. You're fine. So he was a really good player. I really liked playing against him. I'm going to show off a replay verse live/Evil Twin. This deck isn't necessarily meta, but it is with the new support. And the new support does make it a pretty good deck. Like, I want to say it's a pretty good contender for a meta deck. At least, maybe not now, but I don't know, later. But anyway, I noticed this guy was playing a lot of Imperm, as you can see. Imperm, and he'll also Veiler me, I believe, on my next turn. I think. Oh, he has Ash. See, I didn't think he had Ash, because in games 2 and 3, you're going to see me play Ref a lot, because I was under the impression he wasn't playing Ash. I just saw so much Veiler and Imperm in games 1 and 2, or just game 1 maybe, that I just went, you know what, I'm just going to play Ref and see how that goes. So you can see me go for the Dark Magician combo stuff here, and it just doesn't work. It just gets negated. But my hand's pretty good. My hand gives me access to the Rod Souls combo once again, and he draws the Veiler. So this is why I didn't think he was playing Ash, but alas, I find out later he is. So I go for the Rod effect to, you know, grab me some stuff. He goes for the Veiler, and I'm like, bruh. Let's go for the Anaconda, you know how it is. I'm trying to make that Fat Dragoon, and he changed this, the Link 4, the new card they have, and it's actually got a really good effect to summon these guys which come on top. So I was like, well, damn, I'm going to scoop it up there. But let's move to game 2. Game 2, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going first. And look, he sighted in, or I don't know if he sighted in, but he's got Ghost Bell and Skullmaster now. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just play Ref and see how that goes. And it went fine. And to be honest, he had Ash the last game, I just didn't know. I was under the impression he wasn't playing it. So I just went YOLO and played Ref, and it worked out. So I'm just playing Dragoon.deck here with a couple of set cards, those being Judgment. And my logic behind playing Judgment is, if I open multiple Judgment and Ref, who the fuck, like, what deck is playing 3 Dragoon and, like, 2 to 3 Judgments, right? I actually got this from a Dinosaur player from a NBC video who pretty much had the same logic in Dinos. But yeah, it's a very valid point, especially when people are going to be playing spell traps in game 2 and 3 that are going to be like Lightning Storm, Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cycling. They're going to be trying to pop your Circle, Eternal Soul, and all that funky stuff that you're siding. So naturally, I have a game here, so he scoops. So naturally, you want to have Judgment, because it just says no to all that shit, and Dragoon is an extra no to that shit. So that means, with Judgment and Dragoon, you can at least say no to 2 Lightning Storms, or like 2 Twins. You get what I mean? Like, it's a good way to protect your back row, protect your Eternal Soul and whatnot. But it's sometimes okay to let the Eternal Soul just die, because, you know, you only have 1 Dragoon negate, if that's all you got. You only got Eternal Soul, man, you may as well let it go. This match is being played from the wrong way around, I'm sorry. But it's just another monkey game, you know, there's nothing special going on here. It's just me activating Ref. This is just me justifying how much I play Ref at 3. I have Called By here. Whenever you open Called By Ref, you almost feel like you're cheating, because it's like, the only way to out this is Ash and Ash and Ghost Bell. So from here, I'm just playing Dragoon Turbo. You'll notice I added Apprentice off the Illusion of Chaos, because if he manages to make access code, or like anything bigger than 3k, or 4k in this case, because we're now 4k, I can just drop this and he goes up an extra 2k. So this is always a good card to play at least one. If you think, like, a lot of lists are dropping Apprentice, I think with the new support, with the new ritual and stuff, and prep and whatnot, just play this at one, because you can always find it if you need it. And if you open it, it's not the biggest deal anyway. It's a freaking free extender. So Apprentice is a cute card. Don't sleep on Apprentice. She's good. I don't think she's great, but she's decent, you know? For a Dark Magician card, anyway. Tamias, however, I kind of hate this card, right? I don't wanna make people mad, but I have Tamias, and this card kind of have the same problem where they really just neg you to use them. They're not very good. They're not very good. So anyway, we beat Life Twins. Kappa. Look, that deck isn't that bad, so I was pretty happy with that victory. I'm gonna move these over here. Okay, this is the list. I'm gonna go over it in a little bit of depth. 2 Dark Magician, I'm pretty sure most of you know by now. I think this is the standard ratio now. Some people probably still play 3. I don't think, while Red Eyes and the Ref Engine are around, I don't think we need to play 3. It's just more bricks for no reason. Please try this, and if you don't like it, that's fair, but 2 is just a lot better. It means you're seeing these 2 out of 10 games instead of 3 out of 10 games. It's just nice. Anyway, this is what I picked for hand traps, Nibiru and Phantasme. I should have probably maxed out on these. Yeah, you could definitely max out on these. But yeah, these cards are very good, especially if you know your meta at your locals, or if you know the tournament you're going to is going to be combo heavy. We know it's a current link format. Every deck's linking except for maybe like Eldritch. So it's pretty safe to main deck this card, and it's very good in Dark Magician because it's a level 7, it's dark, it's a dragon. It really synergizes well. Even though I'm not playing Xyz, it's still a pretty cool reason to play it. Nibiru obviously is just like no combo deck stuff. Just get that shit out of here. And you know what? This deck struggles to beat those kind of combo decks, especially if like we Ash them and they have an extender. We're kind of fucked. So I thought instead of Ash, I'm just going to play really hard hand traps. So then let's get into more DM engine cards. We've got the Tamias. I think you play this at 1. Any more is just bad, and any less is probably making the deck better. No, look, this card's okay. It suffers from the problem of it still needs too many other cards to get you anywhere. So it's kind of in the same boat as like Poly and Eye of Tamias and Secrets of Dark Magic, in my opinion. But it's a little more viable because it gives you a body on the field, at least, if it gets negated and whatnot. I don't know. It's a weird card. I'm sure you guys also feel weird about it. But yeah, I'm leaving it at 1 for now. For the control build, since we want to make Dark Magician the Dragonite, I think you have to play at least 1. And I think if Dragoon gets banned further down the line, we're going to play at least 1 to 2 of these and just max out on Dragon Knights, or maybe play 2 Dragon Knights and focus on very heavy control. I'd say this isn't too heavy control, but you know, I went control enough. Here's Apprentice Illusion Magician. I already spoke about her. I think she's good since we have 7 ways to search her. Just in case you open Rod, Souls, and Illusion, you can always use your prep and your illusion to grab you either Tamias or Apprentice, and I do like that. That's really nice. Dark Magician Girl, she is the extra brick I am playing. You could play Mana, I don't mind. They're both very good. I just decided to play her now since we have Salvation, and sometimes you can bring her back, but you could definitely play Mana. Here's Rod, here's Souls. I'm not going to talk about these, they're 3s. Here's the new card, it's a 3. Here's the Ritual Dragon. He's a cute little tech. It makes prep a little less bricky if you open multiple or already have this. You can grab this. And this is like your second Called by the Grave. Like, you could probably play more of this, but it just feels safe at 1. I don't want to see too many of it, and I'm playing 4 copies of it anyway, you could say. Since this card's not once per turn. So, I really just like this at 1. It just guarantees your Rod or Anaconda are going to resolve, which is very nice. 3 Ref. I do this a lot. I did this at YCS Europe. It was really good. I played Nadir Servant stuff then, so you go Nadir. If it got ashed, you could play Ref. It was pretty free. But it's just another example of, we have plenty of cards to bait Ash here. And if our opponent's silly enough to Ash something dumb like Phantasme, sometimes Phantasme gets ashed. I mean, that won't be on our turn, but you get what I mean. Like, they're wasting an Ash, essentially. If they Ash this, like, man, it's just so free. And it can win you games, as you saw in the replays. A lot of those games just become Dragoon beatdown, and you might think that's sad, but look, our deck does it the best, so we may as well abuse it. Magicalized Fusion is just here to make a second Dragoon, but it can make a Master of Chaos, it can make Magicians, and let me tell you a secret, I never summon these. There will be scenarios where they might be better, but nearly every time I activated this card, I made Dragoon, another Dragoon. Like, that's just how it is. Till Dragoon gets banned, that's just how it's going to be, I feel. These cards are way too situational, and just not quite as crazy as Dragoon. Like, we know Dragoon's good. 3 prep, I've explained this a lot. 3 souls, best card. Call by the Grave at 1, yeah, good card. Terraforming at 1, good card. Searches either our village or our salvation, and we don't have to play too many copies of these, which is good because these are kind of shit by themselves. Kind of like the whole Dark Magician archetype, they really don't do anything by themselves, so kind of going by the same logic here. Circle and Eternal Soul at 1. A lot of people hate my ratios for this. I'm going to talk about this a little more, I guess, right now. You could definitely play these at 2. Don't think... I'm going to show you a bunch of cards you can play as well in a little bit. But don't think you have to copy this list, and don't think that I'm saying this is the way to play Control Dark Magician. This is how I wanted to play it, and I think it was okay. You could definitely play these at 2. The reason I play Circle at 1 is because I think it's a really old card, and it really doesn't do much for the deck anymore. The Banish effect is the best part of it, and to get that going, you need this, and you need this. And like, it's kind of a mess. The deck's like a puzzle that needs to solve itself. And Konami haven't quite solved it for us yet, so till then we have to rely on stupid like 3-card interactions to get to just 1 banish. And at that point it's kind of like, just play Ice Dragon's Prison, man. Like, that's 2 banishes. Anyway, that's my rant about that. Eternal Soul, we obviously can grab it from the field spell now, so I just feel like 1 is fine. You can play more, 1 is fine. Skill Drain, you saw how many games it wins, and you can send it off souls to stop playing under it yourself, and you get a draw. Like, lol, it's so good. Judgment. I spoke about this already, but Judgment plus Dragoon will win you games. If you have 2 Judgment and like a Dragoon, like, what's your opponent going to do? Without like 3 million extenders, you've won the game. It might be depressing and boring and like a simplified game state, but man, we're going for wins here. We're not going for fun. We're not trying to let the opponent have a good time. We're trying to just win. So this card says no. This card says no. We play them. We activate them. GG. Extra deck time. I spoke about all these a bit. This card's really good for control, especially if we're playing more floodgates. I'm not really playing them because I couldn't really pick one besides Skill Drain. But I'll get into some others you could play it a bit. I think everything here is pretty well explained, though. It's just Dark Magician Fusion shenanigans. Access code's really good, obviously, with Celine and the Lena the Light Charmer play, which comes from some of the boys in the Dark Magician chat. I can't exactly remember who, to be honest. I want to say Ryan, but I might be wrong. Big sorry if I am. But anyway, the boys who figured this out, we just realized you could play definitely more of the Light Charmers, but you can always play Rod and link it into Artemis, and then from there summon your Magician Souls, and then link them into Lena the Light Charmer, and then your opponent, if they have a light monster in their grave, like an Effect Veiler, or their own Artemis, if they're playing Invoked or something, you can just summon that, and then that gives you a way to kind of cheat into Celine and then cheat into Access Code. It's kind of like the Hulk stuff, but you can notice we're not playing a tuner in the main deck. We're playing it in the side, so when you're playing second, you want to side out Judgments for 3 Veiler because it opens up the Hulk, turbo, and it also is just kind of better because these aren't doing a lot when you're playing for second. They can be okay, but you generally would rather have Effect Veiler. 2 Anaconda, I'm on the big train of 2 Anaconda. Please play 2. It's really fucking good. Link Spider is really good, and Imduck is really good, obviously for just DM purposes. I don't really need to say too much. Artemis, best card. Side deck. This is really up to you and your meta and your locals and all that jazz. I feel like Evenly's really good in this deck because we don't care about the battle phase. We just want to establish board control. So your opponent can build a big-ass board. We can go battle phase, drop these. They'll have to negate them, and then we can start building to Dragoon. And then Dragoon's actually going to pop stuff and get the burn effect. And even though we didn't have a battle phase, we're actually going to hit them for like 4k roughly. Anyway, if we pop like a Savage and whatnot. So I think that's really cool. Village, when you're versing Sky Striker, you're going to want to side in all your villages because it is an auto win against that deck. They could normal like a Droll or Effect Veiler, and you can like Judgment it or just honestly ignore it. They probably won't have many plays to make with a monster in the main zone. And Sky Striker has come up in popularity since the Engage being released. So yeah. This is just some general back row hate. You could play Lightning Storms here too, and Pancratops is a very good card, so I have it here. Now here's the list of other cards you could be playing. Just because playing Dark Magician Control, you have so many different options, and it really depends on the meta and like what you can afford and all that jazz. So here are some other options if you don't want to play any of those cards, or if you think my build is shit, that's fine. We have Ash here. I decided not to play it because I found, and you might have noticed in some of those games where I Ashed someone, they just extended and like built a board and killed me. Because I Ashed like their first play, or like what I thought would be, like I needed to Ash, what I Ashed needed to be their only play or I was going to lose anyway. So I felt like, let's leave the the little negates to stuff like Dragoon, to stuff like Judgment, to stuff like Skill Drain. And let's just play really high impact hand traps. And I think Nibiru does suit that role pretty well. I probably should have played 3. But anyway. Ghost Spell, another great card. It obviously stops Tri-Brigade. I really wanted to verse them today in a replay, but I just couldn't get it. I don't know why. Gamma. Gamma's great. I personally hate Gamma because Driver always just ends up in my hand. But you guys can definitely play this. I think this card is great because of all the new cards we have to bait a response from the hand. I wish we could play it with Ref. Oh my god. But then everyone would, so it's kind of better that we can't. Imperm's always fine. We were just playing Hulk, so we went for the Vela route. Summon Limit and Gozen. These are the floodgates I would play if I were playing DM control heavy. So if Dragoon gets banned, I think we have to start playing stuff like this and rush to the Dragon Knight and stall. Allure, you'll notice I had a lot of hands where I just had like prep and I already had 1 or 2 of these, and then like I just had so many dark monsters in the hand that were like double ups and whatnot, and it's so annoying because you can't do shit with that. So I think if you play 2 to 3 Allure, that's fantastic. Go for it. I think they're great. I just didn't really want to make room for them. Here's the trap lineup you could play if you wanted to go heavier control. This is kind of like what Michael played in his lists when he topped, and that's what gave me the inspiration to play the Dogmatica Dark Magician stuff in the first place. Kudos to Michael from Dark Magical Gaming. He is a king. I'll put his channel in the description. Could you please go check it out, because he's a really good DM player and a good pal of mine. So yeah, running these cards is really cool, because obviously if you have Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, you can protect them all and just absolutely smash your opponent with kind of some old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Just back row hate. Oh, not back row hate, sorry, but back row that is going to destroy your opponent. So yeah, it's pretty cool, And this card does Circle's job, but better, so hey, play this card if you want. Upstart Goblin, of course you can play this. This card's amazing in the deck. It synergizes with Circle, it synergizes with Soul Servant. It's actually not bad at all, so go for it if you have room. I just couldn't find the room. Here's some engine stuff that you can play. Obviously, I said the Circle and Eternal Soul. You can play them at 2. I wouldn't play them at 3 nowadays. You really don't need to. Remember that Soul Servant gets you them all from the deck or the grave. So if these go to the grave, it's not the end of the world anymore, okay, guys? We can grab them back with the best card in the deck, which is Soul Servant. And then we can draw an extra card if you have DMG engraved. So just keep that in mind. Like, you don't need to max out on these cards. They're not very good on their own. They're not starters for the deck. So don't feel like you have to play 3 just because, oh, it's Dark Magician, I have to play 3. Don't think that. You play the cards at the ratios you believe are correct and feel comfy to you. And for me, that's 1. But I would say Michael says the perfect ratio is 2 and 2. And you know what? Or 2 and 1. And I would have to agree. That's probably a lot safer than what I do. Secrets, you can play Secrets. I really hate this card. I don't know, it always bricks my hand, but it definitely does come in clutch for OTKs. It can help establish like the new fusion card or just any of the other fusions. But I really just hate it. It never really helps me out. It always just sits in my hand and bricks me. Mana obviously can be played over DMG. I probably wouldn't play them together, but hey, if you're ballsy enough, you can try. You can play Mahad too, but I don't think Mahad's on the level of anything here, so I'm not going to list him. Extra deck cards. Amulet Dragon seems a bit dated, don't you think? But I put it in here because it does kind of auto-win against Sky Striker. If you establish Amulet Dragon and resolve its effect, banishing all the spells in their grave, they do have a hard time coming back from that. I do think it's just safer to go the village route and just smash them with that. But this is another option, just in case, like, you might have friends or locals with a lot of Sky Striker players. And here's a cute little tech. These are some great rank 7s you can play. All of them are good. I would probably lean towards Flare Metal while we have a Red Eyes in the main. Otherwise, Big Eye and Ebon are both fine options. And obviously, you can play Naruto, because you can make it off Dark Magician Girl and Apprentice, and then rank it up into Ebon. And you could even play Zeus. I forgot Zeus in here, but you could play Zeus for sure. Lancia, this is a hand trap you could definitely play as well. I probably wouldn't main it, but it does shut down Tri-Brigade. It does shut down a lot of banished decks like Thunder Dragons, Grand Marju and stuff. There's a lot of random decks it just beats. It can even beat the Warrior combo decks because they do need to banish for Phoenix Blade loops. So this card is really, really good. And if you see too many of them, you can set it in the spell trap and send it off Magician Souls to draw. So that's a really cool interaction to have with like otherwise a kind of useless card. If you open like all three and you're like, I'm never going to need all three. So you can do something like that. It's not optimal, but it's nice to have. Lightning Storm, we've talked about, well, we haven't talked about this, but I mean, it's Lightning Storm. What is there to say? It's spell trap removal or board wipe, and it baits and negate. It's a good card. You can play it if you have it. This card is only for Chads. You can stop watching the video now. This is for the big PP gamers in the chat. I want to see someone win a tournament with this fucking card. This comes in obviously to win in time, and I want to see someone meme with it. Let's see some magic formula Chads in the chat. But anyway, that is the deck list, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you got something out of it, or I hope you can make something similar. Please let me know in the comments what you would have changed, what you're going to play in your build, and maybe some spicy text I missed out on. I might upload a new deck soon, talking all about the kind of combo potential of this deck. Maybe. There's not too much to that, but I do enjoy making some Halt combos and such with the deck. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. You guys have been awesome, and I'll catch you later. Peace.